स्टार्ट नहीं हुआ अभी। हो गया हो गया। Hello, am I audible? ठीक है ठीक है।
Dashi, continue. Hey, Dashi, please continue.
So, welcome to this lecture on open source and Google Summer of Code by Programming Club. Will today help you understand what Google Summer of Code is and will help you will help you that like will explain you the steps to help you participate in that. Next. So first we begin with explaining what open source software is. मेरी आवाज आ रही है? हेलो।
Yes, Pradesh, you are audible.
हाँ ओके ओके ओके। हाँ तो open source software is basically software that is freely available to use and modify. मतलब you can just go to their website, download that code, compile it on your computer and use it. And if you want, you can modify that code to anything you want. The development of this software depends on voluntary contributions made by individual developers. So there is no such team of individuals who work together to like in an office to build the software. They're all scattered around the world and they all collaborate on online and they build the software, and they do not get paid for this work. Usually they do not get paid, and GSoC is one exception where people get paid for working on open source software. Next. So Google Summer of Code is basically a program by Google which connects students with open source organizations, and it also provides a stipend to the students to like incentivize them to contribute to open source. So it has two motives. First is to help students gain an exposure to real world software development, and the second is to help organizations complete their projects. So, if we look at some statistics of GSoC, we see that there were around 51,000 students who registered for the program. But out of those 51,000 students, only 6,600 students submitted a proposal. This is a very drastic drop in the number. And out of those 6,600 students who submitted a proposal, around 1,200 got accepted. If we like analyze this, we see that around 1 out of 5 students got accepted if they submitted a proposal, but out of 51,000 students who registered, there were very few who went ahead with their proposal. So like either they did not understand how to submit a proposal, or they could not complete their tasks, or whatever the reason may be. We are here to help you not be among those remaining 44,000 people who could not submit a proposal. Next. So the first thing that we want to point out is why GSoC is important. It is a very competitive program, so even if you just get selected for GSoC, it is a very big thing. Like there are thousands of students who want to get selected, but they are not selected. So, like it is a big, very big plus point on your resume. And second is that it gives you hands-on experience in working on real life projects that are actually used by a large number of people. Like the software that you build in GSoC will be used by organizations, people. Like, you cannot imagine the extent to which your software is used in the real life. And I'm sure you would never have contributed to any software in such a large scale before GSoC. And this introduces you to awesome communities. There are two types of communities which I want to point out here. One is the students who participate in GSoC. They form a community. You are enrolled in a thing called the GSoC mailing list, in which you can reach out to all the students who had ever participated in GSoC. And this list, of course, includes some very intelligent and like amazing people. And the second type of community is, of course, the organization that you contribute to, the developers who work in that organization, who voluntarily contribute to that organization. And then, of course, the stipend is of very satisfactory. It has been decreased this year to $1,500 for India, but it's still satisfactory. Next. Now, the question that you might have in your mind is if you are good enough for GSoC. So I have copied these points straight from this website of Google. This There is a thing called the student GSoC guide, where which students are supposed to read before they begin their GSoC journey. And this guide mentions exactly these 7 points as the requirements for GSoC. So if you satisfy these points, then you are good enough. And like, just take a look at these points. You have access to a functioning computer, you can install software on your own, you have got experience using the programming languages, you can find out where to go for help, you can take and respond well to feedback, you can work independently, you know when to ask questions. These are very easy points to satisfy. So you should never think that you're not good enough for GSoC. It's actually very simple to get selected in this. Next. So yes, this is an important table that I wanted to show you all. If you see, out of top 10 universities, 9 were from India, schools with the most accepted students for GSoC 2020. And on the second number, you see IIT Kanpur. This has been a very kind of constant rise for IITK. In 2017, there were only 3 people who were selected, and that number increased to 16, then to 19, then to 27. And like, we have been increasing consistently, and we want that in 2021 we overtake Roorkee. And I think this is possible because this time the number of students selected for GSoC will double. So more of you have chances to get selected, and I really hope we will top this list next year. Next. So now all of you must have this question, like how to start with this procedure. So we'll help you out with the major steps. Before we go on to the steps required to start, I'd like to point out some prerequisites that were not mentioned in the GSoC guide, but I think they are required. So the first one is that you must have fairly good programming skills. Like, this is obvious. Like, what I mean is that you do not have to be an expert in programming. You do not have to have a lot of internships and very well grasped at algorithms. Like, it's not that, but you must understand the basic concepts of programming. That's it, very basic. Then you must have experience working on small projects. Like, they do not have to be very large, but it's not like you can just go on to working with GSoC without having worked on any of your personal projects before that. Then the third point is that you must have experience with version control systems like Git. This is very, very, very important because in all real life projects, a version control system is used, and Git is the most popular one. But like, you cannot just go on contributing to a real life project without knowing how to how to work with version control systems. And the fourth point is that you must have knowledge of software development practices like code review, testing, etc. I don't mean that you must have done these before. Like a lot of people have no experience at all with code review, testing, etc., but still they do it when the time comes. But you cannot do it if you do not know about it. So even if you have no experience working with them, you must know about them at least. Then the fifth point is that you must have fairly good communication skills. And this is a very, very, very important point that you may not realize right now, but we'll come to a few stories in this lecture itself, which will highlight the importance of this point. Next. So now we come to the major steps. So basically, the procedure to get selected in GSoC is very easy. You just choose some organizations, you contact them, you contribute to their projects, and then you submit a proposal. Now, initially, this looks very easy, but all of these steps are actually very difficult. Like, some people may find some steps very difficult, some may find them easy, but we'll go on each of these steps one by one, and we'll explain how to do that. So the first part is how to choose an organization. So if you go to GSoC archives, you will see the list of all the organizations who have participated in GSoC before. The list, I think, is available since 2014 or something. Like, you can just go and check all of the organizations and just see what field they work in and what their projects have been. There are like around hundreds of organizations there, and it is not possible to check every project of each organization in detail. So the first step is to filter out some organizations and shortlist some of them. And this sum will not be very large and not be very short either. So around 30 is a good number in my opinion. So like, you just go on to that list, choose some organizations around 30 based on your interests and your existing knowledge of languages and frameworks. Like, it's listed there which language this uses, which framework this organization prefers for their projects. And it is also recommended that if you already use something, then you should try to participate in that organization. For example, if you use Mozilla Firefox, you may want to try to participate with Mozilla. Or if you use the Gen 2 distro, then you may want to participate with the Gen 2 organization, things like that. So the point is that when you use something, you know what flaws exist in that, you know the principles on which it works. So you have a better understanding of the projects and you would be able to contribute to them better. Then, out of these 30, other thing is that you will have an organization for everything you may be interested in. For example, if you're interested in machine learning, there will be organizations on machine learning. If you're interested in cybersecurity, there will be organizations on cybersecurity. And even there are organizations for things that are not related to coding. For example, if you're interested in aerospace engineering, there are organizations that work in that field. If you're interested in biology, there are organizations that work in the field of biology, and they require coding, and they come to GSoC, and you can contribute to those organizations. So what I mean is that you should choose these 30 organizations based on your interests, and then we'll filter out a few of them from these 30. Then once you have this shortlist, you must study about them in detail. Like, just check out their past projects, check out the things that they use in building their projects, check out how they select students. Like, some organizations have a fixed plan, like if you contribute to X number of issues, you get 5x points. If you like introduce yourself, you get 2 points, things like that. And some organizations on the other hand are very vague. They just select people uh, based on their opinion. So just like find out everything that you can about these 30 organizations. Some organizations may have very strange modes of communication, like IRC or some chat room that you may not want. Like, just find out everything that you can about these 30 organizations and then rank them in order of preference. So, if there is an organization that uses languages that you are very comfortable with, it has projects that are related to your field of expertise, and its method of selection is quite fair, like, then you might want to contribute to that organization over others. So just rank these 30 organizations in that in a list, and then the next step is to start contacting these organizations in the order of preference. Next. Ah, so now contacting organizations is considered to be an easy task, but it is not an easy task. You have to go tell them that you want to participate in GSoC. Like, you just go straight to them and tell them that you want to participate in GSoC. And you have to introduce yourself, tell them what you do, tell them something about your previous projects. Like, introduce yourself properly, but do mention that you are here to work on projects for GSoC. Like, when you mention GSoC, they will guide you exactly to those projects that they are hoping for GSoC projects, like for students to work in GSoC. So, in this step, some organizations may be very helpful while others will be very unwelcoming. So, if you do not get a response from an organization, you should not stop there. You should just continue trying. Like, I'm not saying that you go and harass the people in those organizations, but don't give up that easily. Just try to contact those people and tell them that you're here to work, and they will reply, hopefully. So once you go there, like, if they are not pointing out any particular issues to you at first, then you should explicitly ask them. Like, just tell them that you need to work on an issue, you are a beginner, you know nothing about it, and you need an issue to work, and they will point you exactly towards the issue that they want you to work on. And like, this is important that you mention everything explicitly. The communication should be clear, and this is an important point. I'll come to it later in a story. Next. So the next step after contacting the organization is to start contributing. So if they explicitly give you task, okay, this is your task, do this, then it's very good. But if they don't, then you'll have to pick a task yourself. The step to pick a task is quite difficult. So first you need to find out issues that are labeled with tags like good first issue, low hanging fruit, etc. And like, these are the issues that are for beginners. You cannot just go and start working on any issue. You have to start with an easy issue. So these are the labels that are used for easy issues. Some organizations may also have tags like GSoC 2021, etc. But like, okay, just find issues that you can work on. Now, once you reach that issue, you will realize that there may be other people who are competing for that issue too. So they must have commented there that I want to work on this issue. Or like, uh, the people from the organization must have already assigned an issue to them. Like, this happens. So you need to find an issue and get an approval from someone inside the org before you start working on an issue. Like, it looks very bad if you uh, just snatch an issue from someone else and solve it. Like, there are chances that your PR might not be accepted if you do that. So before someone gives you an explicit approval to work on an issue, do not work on that issue. Then once you get this task, get an issue assigned to yourself, then you have to do proper research. Just go and study their code base, try to find out what exactly the issue is, try to find out ways to fix this issue. You need to learn some new stuff, like possibly you will need to learn some new stuff. So just learn that if required. And then if you are still stuck, then you should ask for help. And this asking for help is very important, that a lot of people don't do. Like I myself did not do it the first time I tried to work on an issue. And like this is the most important part in this entire GSoC thing, that people don't ask for help. This like the entire thing is based on communication, and you have to be very clear in your communication. You just need to tell them that okay, this is the issue, I have studied this much, I know I have to fix it this way, and I have tried this but it did not work, so tell me what should I do next. Like just be very explicit, ask for help. And the point is that once you understand the issue properly, like you understand why the issue exists, you understand how to solve it, then it's very easy to solve it. The code will not be very complicated or something, it will be very easy. You just have to understand the reason for that issue. Next, like once you have worked on a few issues, you will have to submit something called a proposal. So in this proposal, you need to mention about yourself, your experience, your education and everything, your previous projects, and then you need to mention what you have done for this organization, how much experience you have regarding the project that you are applying for. So the proposal is not for any particular organization, it is for a particular project. This project you will choose from the list of ideas that the organization may have. Like when you choose any organization, they will provide you with a list of possible ideas that they want to work on in GSoC. You choose any one idea out of these and you design your proposal on this. Alternatively, someone from the organization may give you an idea explicitly. Like he may tell you that this is your issue that you will work on in GSoC. So then you have to design a proposal on that project idea. So in your proposal, you must mention everything you know about the prerequisites of this project. You must tell them why you are good enough to work on this project. Like, see, the thing with GSoC is that there is no fixed rule on how to select students. If you are able to convince the organization that you are good enough to work on the project, then they will select you. And no matter how good you are, if you are unable to convince the organization that you are not good enough for the project, then they won't select you. So the entire point is to convince the organization that you can work on this project. And this is done by consistently asking for help and working on the projects and communicating with the mentors, which is supposed to be done before you work on this proposal. So how to make a proposal? It's very easy. Like once you have worked on some of the issues of the organization, you will just like make any kind of a proposal, something like 3-4 pages, and then submit it to the people of the organization informally. And then they will look at it and they will suggest you ways on how to improve it. And then once you get their feedback, you must improve it and then you must send them back. And this keeps on repeating itself until the day arrives that you have to submit the proposal. So in this proposal, you have to, like I have already mentioned, that you have to mention about yourself and your experience with the project. And there's also an important thing called the timeline. Like when you make this proposal, you have to tell them everything that you will accomplish by the end of this project. And these things are called deliverables, like what you will deliver at the end of the project. So these deliverables must have a proper timeline. Like by this particular date, you would have completed this task. By this particular date, you will have completed this task, and so on. And you must have uh, some range for bug fixes, etc. You will get a better idea of this when we give you the proposals of previously selected students from IITK. We have a list of many proposals which were selected in GSoC, and we'll mail them to you in a few days. So that will give you a better idea of how to make a proposal. But this is not very important right now. What is important right now is how to start contributing. This will come later, and when it comes, we will help you with this also. So next. So now is the time for a story. Actually, there are three stories. So the first two stories are mine, and I'll begin with the first story. So there was an organization, let's say O1. In December 2019, I was very sure that I want to work for this organization. There were a lot of plus points of this organization. The projects were very easy to understand. Like I had a lot of knowledge in that particular field, so I had no difficulty understanding their code. The projects used my favorite language, which was Go, and there was an awesome Y16 senior who had worked with that organization in GSoC uh, in some previous years. So he was there to help me. Like whenever I needed any help with like what is this problem, how to do this, how to do that, he was there to help me. And then like I was very sure, like almost 90% sure that if I do GSoC, I will do it with this particular organization. And then I started working on an issue which was labeled good first issue. So once I started working, I got stuck at some point. So I told them that this is the issue that I am facing, and this can be improved in this particular way. But the organization people did not reply to that. Like they did not even react, thumbs up or thumbs down or anything. So I did not comment anything after that, and I did not take up any issue after that, and that was the end of the story. So like I really wanted to work with this organization. Like, there were so many plus points about this organization, but I was not able to communicate efficiently, and hence I could not work with this particular organization in GSoC. Then there is story two. So there is another organization, let's say O2. So uh, this organization gave me a task, but I was in Goa at that time. I was at Nalcon, so I couldn't complete this task. I was busy. So the person from this organization asked me what I was doing. So I just told him that I am out on a conference and I will do this task by a particular date that I gave him. So he was like, okay. Then I did that task. Then he gave me another task. It was an issue that someone was facing regarding his printer. Like the organization worked with printers. So I did not have a printer and I could not reproduce the issue. So then they just closed the issue because the original poster, the person who had created the issue, did not reply to any of the questions. So they just closed it. And then they gave me another task about fixing some printing software. And I thought this task was easy because I could easily fix software. But I understood nothing of that because, see, I did not know anything about printing systems beforehand. So I told them that I don't know anything, I don't know how to begin. Can you suggest me how to begin? And that person emailed me a very long mail which had very detailed explanations for everything. But I did not understand anything even after that. So uh, I replied back saying that, okay, I understand this is the shoe, and this is how I understand the issue occurs. And then I suggested that these are the ways that I can fix this issue. So then I pointed out that in the first way, I will have to do this. In the second way, I will have to do this. Which way is better according to you? So he got that mail and he replied that both of your methods are wrong. And he said that you do not understand the issue. And then he again explained everything in detail. And then again, I understood nothing. So I tried everything that I understood, and then I replied him back saying that okay, I tried this. Like I wrote a very detailed mail. Like I just gave every command that I executed, everything that I tried, and I told him that I tried this, and I found this. Now tell me what to do next. And then he replied again ki okay, do this. And then I did what he told me to do. I again faced another issue, but I told him exactly what the issue was, and I told him what I felt could be done. And then he told me to do that, and I did that. Like it continued like this. But the point is that I communicated with him very properly. Even when I did not understand anything, I told him straight away that I do not understand anything. Please help me. And he helped me. And then after some time, we realized that this issue was a very major issue. That a beginner like me could not solve this issue like just like that. It was an issue in the core technology of that thing. So the issue was like marked as not to be fixed, and he thanked me for my investigation of this issue. But it was already very late. It was 18th of March, and I had zero accepted PRs in that organization by that time. But still, they selected me. This is because I communicated with them properly and I showed them that if need be, I can ask for help. And this is exactly what they want in you. They do not want you to be a very good programmer who can just build everything on his own. They want you to talk to them and tell them how you plan to do it. Like, just keep communicating with them very properly. That is the moral of this story. And there's a third story which Nirmal will tell you.
So, hey all. So before starting, I wanted to point one thing out that some project and some organization takes the proposal very seriously, as some project may involve open-ended problem statement, and the organization want you to prepare a detailed proposal where you will be telling how you will be indicating how you will solve that open-ended problem statement, and how will you be able to manage the time that the 3 month coding period to implement that whole idea. So let's start. So I started 10 days before the proposal deadline, which is not at all recommended. And I'll recommend you to understand the code base and understand the language and the tech stack beforehand, and try to invest some time in participating in PR and issues. So I learned the language and all the tech stack. Uh, I complete my initial proposal. It was full of blunders, and uh, but I communicated with the community and the mentor, and and communicating with the mentor at regular interval is very crucial, because in the way you will understand what is expected from that project. So uh, yes, it was a cycle. Like they give me a feedback, I do some revision, add in new ideas, and again communicate with the community and some people around what new ideas I can implement. And it really helped me in building up a proposal. So after that, they gave one task, and again, when they gave this task, it involved a new stack, and of course, it involved new language. So I did not understand at first. So again, I asked for the help, and the community is very friendly. So when you will be asking for some help, they would suggest you some ways and some of the shortcuts too. Like when I was doing this task, I was on a longer path, but one of the community member suggested me a framework which drastically reduced my workload. So yeah, communicating and asking for help, and finally I was able to complete the task. And yeah, so two PR rejected, two open PR, zero accepted PR, reported three issues. So I was not able to complete. I was my uh, I was not able to complete one satisfactory PR, but these two open PR were accepted at later end. And working on PR and working on this issue will really help you to understand the internals of the language and internals of the tech stack. And it really helped me to understand the framework I was working with. And the community did notice my effort, and yeah, at last I was selected. So the moral of this story would also be the same, like communicating with the communication is the key point to note here. And asking for help is you can ask for help freely. You will be you uh, the more you communicate with the community, and it will be beneficial for your proposal. And you will be noticed, and uh, you will be noticed in the communicative community, which will increase the chance for you to be selected in the JSoC. Yeah, over to you, Piyush.
Huh. So we already saw the moral of the story is that we should communicate and ask for help whenever we are stuck. The thing is that not all organizations are as helpful as I and Nirmal were lucky enough to find. And there will be organizations that will not respond to you that well. But in that case, you will just have to keep trying. Like, if that organization does not reply, then you have a list of 30 organizations, choose the next one. But the point is that you cannot get selected in any organization, no matter how good you are, if you do not communicate with the people of that organization. And in that communication, you have to explain to them that you understand everything properly. You must tell them what you have tried, what you understand of this problem, what you think can solve this problem, and like just everything you have in mind. And this is the only secret to get selected in GSoC. Next, Nirmal, next. Huh. So now you must be worried that you don't have a lot of time or things like that. But the thing is that there is a lot of time. I told you in my story that I started very late, but this is not the case with everyone. But still, a lot of people who get selected start around February, January or February, and you still have a lot of time before that, so you can improve upon the prerequisites that we had mentioned in a previous slide. Like, just improve your profile before you work on mm, an issue. So now if you see that this time the timeline has been modified slightly, the duration has been reduced to 3 months. Earlier it used to be 4 months, including the community bonding period. It used to be 4 months, now it's total 3 months. So it has shifted 15 days later, and the ending time has shifted 15 days before. So now uh, you have even more time than you used to have in the previous years. So do not worry that you don't have time. Like you, like you see that the application period ends on 13th of April, so you have like four months to prepare about this, and that is a lot of time. So like just prepare your profile first and then start working on the issues. You have a lot of time to learn and implement things. So do not worry about the time. Uh, you can do everything in this time. Next. Huh. So Nirmal will tell you about this slide.
Yeah, so as a GSoC participant, what type of project you can work on, and what type of field you can expect to work on. So there are practically everything you can work on as a GSoC participant, and it is totally dependent on the organization you are working with. So some of the major fields have been listed down here, like web and software development is one of the you can say the major field where most projects have common in. Then you could be working on mobile applications like Android and iOS. There are a lot of machine learning projects, deep learning projects, deep learning and machine learning frameworks that you can work on. So, just to add here, it is a myth that in GSoC there are less machine learning project, and if you are working in a GSoC, then you would be working toward the software and web applications, web app development side of things. But you can work on practically everything, again to repeat. And there are a lot of machine learning projects and machine learning framework uh, as a projects, and there are some of the organizations which are totally inclined toward machine learning algorithm implementation. Some of them are also inclined toward the compiler and operating system type of improvements. So you could take a look at the organization list, and uh, you can prepare the organization you wish to work with. You can communicate in their channels, like all the organization usually have their Slack channel, or maybe a type of medium where the community communicate with each other. So you can communicate there, and you can also propose a new project so you can also propose a new project which is not listed in the project page. So you can also do that. And if the community feel like you have a good project, and you can pitch the project with the community, and if they feel like it is a valid project, and the organization will be benefited from, then they can take up your new project, and you can work on as a GSoC project. Yeah,
So I think this is
yeah, I'm not
all
able
we
to.
had to say now. If you have any questions, please mention them in the chat. We will be happy to answer all of them.
So just to add here, uh, take a take a serious look at the timeline of GSoC 21. So the organization will announce the tentative date of organization announcement will be on 10th March. So you can expect the projects. There will be a project list which will be listed down by Google, and all the project will be mentioned in that website. So you can go through all the projects, and you can search the project by tag also. Like if you are interested in a deep learning project, then you can simply search deep learning there, and all the projects which are listed down in the tag of deep learning will be displayed there. So 10th of March, the organization will announce. Then 13th April is the student application period. So uh, this period is very crucial for you if you are aiming for GSoC 21. And then the whole timeline is uh, from the application review period and student project announcement. This all are the post selection steps, so you should not be worrying about that now.
I'd also like to mention that GSoC is not the only program that supports open source projects. So there are other programs also, and I have added a list of such programs. There is a GitHub repo which maintains a list of such programs. I've added this in the description of this live stream. You can check that. And like there's a thing called Outreachy, which is for uh, mainly people who are not that represented in tech, for example women and minorities, like racial minorities especially. So if you belong to that category, you can try for Outreachy. There was a person, Muskan Garg of Y18. She was selected in Outreachy. If you need any Outreachy specific feedback, you can ask her. There are no best organizations to apply to. The thing is that uh, if you know people in that organization, for example, if you have seniors in who have worked with that organization before, then they may help you in more ways than you can imagine. Like they will tell you what the organization people want from you. They will tell you what exactly is required to get selected, and like they will provide you insights into the actual code of that organization. So if you prefer, like you may want to choose an organization based on something that you already know, like someone to help you out. Amir Raza, you ask if we can explain a little about how we approach an issue, let's say good first issue. So, as I already said, it's sometimes very difficult to get started with an issue which is considered to be an easy issue. So, the only thing that you need to do is just ask the people of that organization what they want you to do. You just tell them that you have no idea how to begin, and they will tell you what you need to do. And if they don't tell you, then try another organization where people will tell you what to do. Like in general, the open source community is a very helpful community. People are ready to welcome beginners, so they will definitely help you get started with it. So how do we get to know what organizations are seniors to? See, if you go to the Facebook group of Programming Club, you will see a few posts. Like there are posts every year about people who are selected in GSoC. You can find those posts and you can contact those seniors, and we will also send you a list of proposals by your seniors, so you can contact those seniors too. So skills to focus on right now should be that, like as of now, I don't think many organizations will be focusing on GSoC right from December. There are very few organizations who start work on GSoC in December itself. Many of them like start accepting GSoC students around February or January end. So right now you have a lot of time to improve your profile. As I said, work on your own projects, learn about the different things like testing and code review, etc. Like just improve your profile in general. Pratyush, and then how to reach out to organizations. So if you go to that list of like just go to the website of GSoC and go to that page where they list out all the organizations who have participated in previous years. So in that list you will find all the methods to communicate with that organization. They will list out emails or links to chat or chat rooms, IRC, everything. Like it will all be there on that list of organizations page. For Y20 students, see, you first need to meet the prerequisites, as I said. If you go back in the video, or we'll post the slides. So you need to be good with the prerequisites. Before you are good with the prerequisites that I mentioned, you cannot just like go on and tell them that you want to participate. You need to be good at the prerequisites first. So try improving on your prerequisites before you start with GSOC. Till organizations are officially announced by Google, shall we get in touch with the organization or just focus on improving our skill set? I think like I would advise you to start contacting the organization sometime in January. And by that time, the organization should not have been officially announced by Google, but there are like if you just check the list over the past 3 4 years, you will see that there are some organizations that participate every year, and so there are chances that they will participate this year too. So like just go and contact those organizations. Any other questions? Yeah, I have added this list of open source programs. Wait a second. Like if you reload the page, you will find it in the description of this video. I have also pasted it in the chat. Yes, you can reach out to us if you get stuck. You can reach out to us on Slack. The channel is open, hashtag open source, like or anywhere on Slack. Like we will not refuse to help you, and you can even contact us on any other platforms like email or Facebook. We will try to help you. Aside, if you fulfill all the prerequisites and you are a Y20, then you should probably start working on some good projects of your own. Like projects can be, for example, uh, like anything. And, uh, like just Google something like project ideas, and you will find some projects worthy of building, like something like you build any SC101 project, right? Things like that. Like build your own projects, like so that you have something to showcase to the organization that you have worked on projects before. Ankit Pal, some of the projects I'm looking at use Python in their backend. So is it feasible to learn a whole new framework? Yes, it is. It is feasible to learn a whole new framework. Like you have 4 months. That is a lot of time. People learn new frameworks in 1 week. Like that is a lot of time. If you try, you can understand that framework very well. Himanshu Gupta, I only know C++. Am I uh, eligible for GSoC? Yes, yes, you can work with GSoC. My GSoC project was strictly in C++. So yes, even with only C++, you can work in GSoC. Rajarshi Datta, we had mentioned the prerequisites some time ago in the slide. Wait, I'll point you to that time prompt. Uh, we'll post the slides on Slack, and you will see that the prerequisites are mentioned in that slide. A fiction frost. What is the roadmap for beginners? We just explained that first you have to get good with the prerequisites and then follow the steps that we mentioned after that. Any other questions? How much dedication does it require? Uh, this depends from person to person. Like as you saw in my story, I started very late, and I only worked for that for like around 10 days, and my proposal was selected. So if you measure it with that, you will say that it was not much dedication. But then again, there are people who try very hard and still they are not selected. So like that depends on you and the organization and how you do it. Kavya Agarwal, if you look at the slide which is live right now, it mentions the prerequisites. If you have any questions specifically regarding these, you can ask them. But if you're asking what are the prerequisites, then the points mentioned in front of you right now are the prerequisites. Will GSoC choose students from any particular colleges or universities? No, that is not anything like that. There are some restrictions, like some age-based restrictions, and that You must not have participated in GSoC more than twice, and you must not belong to some particular set of countries. But that's it. Like there is no restriction on any institute like that. Shivam Kasodan, I just told you my story. There were two stories. I tried for two organizations. Story one and story two are the two stories that I did. That they were the process for me. There is no restriction on any year. Like you can participate irrespective of your year of study, as long as you are a college student. Like it requires you to be a college student. In fact, there is another story, story 4. So there was this senior who like worked hard. He got selected in the organization, not officially selected. He got unofficially selected. Like the mentor told him that he would be selected, but we have to upload an ID card in the process of this GSoC to prove that we are a college student. So I think he did not upload his ID card properly or something, but Google rejected his application because his ID card was not proper. So even though he worked and he got unofficially selected, he could not participate in GSoC because he did not upload his ID card properly. No, if you apply for GSoC and you're not selected, then that does not count as an attempt. You need to participate in GSoC twice to be disqualified. Yes, Himanshu Gupta, college students mean it can be either UG or PG or PhD also. Like you just have to be a college student. If you don't have any other questions, we can end this stream. No, you do not miss a chance if you do not apply. See, you can apply for a you can participate for a maximum of 2 times. You can apply any number of times as far as you have not participated already 2 times before. So you do not miss any chance if you do not participate. Avantika Singh, you can apply any number of times. Like, you just not have you just not have to be selected twice before. A friction frost? No, it is not necessary that before applying to GSoC you should be a contributor in any open source project. But the thing is that when you submit a proposal, it is assumed that you have already worked with that organization for some time, like maybe 1 month or two, just before applying for GSoC. Like you must have to have solved some issues for them or communicated with them in some way. So, other than that, no other open source experience is required. But if you have any other open source experience, then maybe the organization will prefer you. But it is not at all required. A lot of people get selected in GSoC without having any prior open source experience. Kurkure boy, how many orgs can we apply to max? You can apply to a maximum, you can submit a maximum of 3 proposals at one time in one single year. But the thing is that if you like actually try to get into 3 different organizations at the same time, it may become a very tough task to pull off. So it is recommended to like just limit that number to around 2. Like most people I know just applied to only one organization and they gave their best to that one particular organization only. But it is recommended that you try around 2 organizations parallelly. Shivam, you can apply from first year itself. That is not a problem. In fact, we recommend you to apply in the first year itself. At least you will get an idea of the process. And since if you're not selected, then that does not count as an attempt. So that will not cause any harm. No, if you have completed your UG and you are not enrolled in a college, then you cannot apply for GSoC. Like you must have a valid, non-expired ID card from a recognized institute to apply for GSoC. Okay, so we'll end the session now. Thank you for coming.